All right, scholars, we're here to talk about adverbs. Now, if you can actually see my sheet underneath this blank paper here, you'll see that instead of starting with adverbs, we need to review adjectives first because adjectives and adverbs are very closely related. They both describe things. Instead of the word describe here in my definition of an adjective, which you should remember, an adjective describes nouns or pronouns, I could say that an adjective modifies nouns or pronouns. Modifies means that it changes our understanding of a noun or pronoun. So we know adjectives describe things or person, place, since those are also nouns. Adjectives, if you also remember, tell us one of three things. They tell us what kind, which one, or how many. So if I have a sentence like, I got a red rose. Red is my adjective. It's telling me what kind of rose. Or which one. I liked that book most of all. That book. Which book? That one. It's telling me which one. Or how many? I have 4 sisters. True story. How many? 4. 4 is my adjective. Okay, adjectives describe or modify nouns or pronouns. Adverbs, on the other hand, can modify one of 3 things. They can modify verbs, hence the name adverbs. That should be our most obvious one. Adverbs can also modify adjectives or change our understanding of adjectives. And they can also modify other adverbs. We're going to take a look at some sentences to see that more clearly in just a minute. But first, let's compare our questions for adjectives and adverbs. So, adverbs tell us when, where, how, and how often. And you should memorize those questions that you can use them to help you on quizzes, on exercises, so that you always know whether something's an adjective or an adverb. Let's talk about some examples. Yesterday I went to church. When did I go to church? Yesterday is a word that's telling me when. Where? I went outside. Outside is an adverb that's telling me where. How? Now, if you think back to making words and our suffixes, the adverb suffix, classic adverb suffix, is ly. We add ly onto adjectives, and those generally are how kinds of adjectives. So if I say, I spoke very quietly. Quietly is telling me how I spoke. It's an how adverb. Or how often. I often walk to school. That's telling me how often. Or I never drive a car. That's telling me, again, how often. So adverbs can tell when, where, how, or how often. One quick thing, if you have a phrase, like a bunch of words that you think is telling you when, where, how, or how often, that's not actually an adverb. An adverb is one word on its own. If it's a phrase, it's actually a prepositional phrase working as an adverb. And that is the next video and next concept. Okay, so adjectives, what kind, which one, how many. Adverbs, when, where, how often. Let's take a look at some examples to help us see how adverbs modify different things. Like I said, adverbs can modify verbs. That's the most obvious one because of the name. Here's a sentence, I ran quickly. Very easy sentence with only 3 words. I should know that I is a pronoun, ran is a verb, so quickly must be my adverb in the sentence. And it ends with the ly suffix, so hopefully that wasn't too hard for you to see. What word is quickly modifying or help me to understand? Quickly is changing my understanding of the word ran, which, like I just said, is a verb. Quickly is also telling me how I ran, so I can double check that it is, in fact, an adverb. My next one, we said that adverbs can modify adjectives. They change our understanding of adjectives. Here's an example sentence. I am very fast. If I ran quickly, I probably am very fast. So, in my sentence here, I is my pronoun, am is a verb. Fast is an adjective. It's describing me. So that's an adjective. Very is the word that's describing fast, modifying an adjective. And according to my questions here, when, where, how, or how often, well, that would be a how adverb again. How fast are you? I'm very fast. My last example, adverbs can modify other adverbs. Like I said, this is in some ways the hardest one to see, so I've used the same sentences up here where I already had an adverb in it. A pronoun, a verb, an adverb, and here I have pronoun, verb, adverb with the same adverb as up above stuck in between here. So this adverb, quickly, is still, no surprise there, modifying my verb, telling me how I ran. Very, this adverb here, is modifying my understanding of this adverb here. So I have an adverb modifying a verb and an adverb modifying another adverb. If I have an adverb modifying another adverb, I have to have two adverbs in the sentence. That might seem obvious, but I just want to point out that it can't modify itself. It has to modify a different adverb, which therefore has to be modifying a verb or another adjective in the sentence. Okay? So again, adverbs tell when, where, how, or how often, whereas adjectives tell what kind, which one, how many. All right, scholars, I know that you are going to get adverbs down pat if you remember these questions. Let me know if you've got any questions. Off to work you go.